I was listening to R. Wayne Steiger just a minute ago. I missed his show. I like him. He's a cool dude. Read a lot of books, knows a lot of stuff, been through the evangelical. I need to tell his biography. I like to listen to his show. I think he's a good-hearted guy, and he's just been cast into a role himself, just like all of us to a certain degree. But they were talking about the books. He was discrediting, not that he's discrediting the books, like the Old Testament, the Jews, and all that stuff. I say the books are there to describe something that can't really be described in words, but they're doing the best they can. All those things are actually present. The forces of God, David and his harp, and a lot of them are hidden meanings. That's why it's not only written but oral tradition. We've lost a lot of that, and we're getting a Futurama part. They're taking our oral tradition away from us. Some of them, but there are certains that do have an oral tradition, and it's nothing that we know of. And they live by that, by the book almost. What is the book? You're the book. I'm the book. Everybody's the book. More information, that little strand of DNA. I was talking to a guy about it yesterday. He does gene editing and stuff. Really great conversations. But so what I'm saying, these books, even with the book of Revelation, who knows? That one seems like it was just seems like another script. It's always a script to a certain degree, and then they try to, especially when you can interpret it in multiple ways. But all that stuff is astrology. It's astrotheology, all that stuff, just like Levet, or who's that other guy this guy got run to he's a smart kid too, but he's so good. What was that guy's name? Italian dude, man. He writes books and stuff. I can't remember his name, but that's where the first time I ever heard the word astrotheology. And they take it to extremes too. You get what I'm saying? And then they think they can figure out everything through the stars, and that doesn't work like that. The main thing is to have the connection with the one that doesn't have a name, that couldn't be described, couldn't be measured, whatever. We were even talking about the Big Bang. And I was saying that I didn't think there was a Big Bang. But by the time we got done describing what we both talked about, maybe there's a Big Bang, maybe there's not a Big Bang. By starting in that, why the one little thing, it made all this. And like I was telling you, in the Gnostic teaching, it was to reproduce itself. And what was it? That one little spark, that was love. That was the creative spirit. And why everything right here exists, so it could create and duplicate itself. It had to give us all of us, a certain amount of free will to go along with it. And certain forces, however I don't get in all that can get into all kinds of really good stuff. But my main point was, the books are there to give you ideas, and it's how else would you express it, And then there's all the, like I say, now with everybody I learned a lot of stuff from a lot of people. And Levet's one of them. I learned a lot of stuff from Levet. I got to check you out. I think you're a really cool woman. That's all I got to say. But she says, we got everybody in the world now on these things writing script, writing their own free will, trying to write their own story. And that's fine to me to a certain degree. But I would always say that people you can't make anything happen. Love can't be forced, but love is a force. So you can't force somebody to love you, first of all. But it is a force. So you got people out here trying to figure it out. And a lot of people's love is the fear or the lack of the love. And so we have a lot more of the other. It's the tip of the scales of love from that one little past the positive, negative, these terms, I don't like them. The evil. We'll use the word evil. And that's where your cup overfloweth. So the books are there, from the Vedics to the Quran. I mean, I listened to the Quran last night. It was beautiful. I don't even know what he was saying, but I know he was praying to something, to Allah, I guess, to him. That's a name, but to me, the God and stuff like this, those are titles. These are things. But when two people were gathered in my name, whatever that means, when you're in spirit with the people and you're not trying to outwitness or somebody's just out show them how smart you are, and you're just trying to be friendly and loving and neighborly, there's a resonance and a feeling about that. And that can't really be, that's why Jesus said he spoke in parables. And people, depending on where you're at on a wheel, that's a wheel, but it is degrees of the wheel, depending on where you're at, you'll see in the metaphor what was meant for you to see at the time and the place. But like I say, with all the stuff that the food everybody's eating these days, and that's not just the food that goes in your mouth, it's the stuff that you put in your head that's out there. There's a lot of dark, occult, disgusting, barbaric shit out there. I really don't get into it, but I see it now, and I see how it's portrayed in through the reality. So I'm talking to script writers and everybody else is, the powers be that rushed on. Men in high places. Really. Anyways, just took a nice walk. But anyway, I got to get off this. I don't want to go into big old long details about anything like else, but the Bible's really cool. I mean, I don't look at it as like a lot of people. But to me, just like I had a statue of Jesus and it was badass and it had tears and everything. I smashed the fucking head off that thing. It's still just a goddamn book. Don't put your everything in a book. Yeah. Do you think, all right, whatever it is, well, all the traditions got a name for it. Would prefer if somehow like this book was edible or some shit right there. I don't know, man. And you had a guy sitting next to you. Do you think he would rather you? That's not even a good. I'm trying to. What's a good analogy right here? I'll value this book compared to another person. I'd say that person is more closer to the Word of God. My neighbor, even my fucking worst enemy, is closer to the Word of God than this book. Because remember, we're made in the image and likeness of Him. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. But I do like the books, man. They're great. I listen to this shit all the time. I love them. I mean, we need this good stuff. So that's just my point. All right, I got to go before I blow it again.